Decades of war have left scars on Iraq's landscape and gaping holes in its cultural archive. Rosie Lees-Thompson has more on the artefacts that were illegally removed or stolen from the country, and not all of them to yet be returned.
Beneath Iraq's sands lies the ancient region of Mesopotamia. Situated between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, it is where many believe human civilization was formed. The region not only radiated in literature, politics and art, but also left a considerable scientific legacy in the fields of mathematics and astronomy, according to UNESCO.
And we do have at least 15,000 archaeological sites in Iraq, representing the long history of Mesopotamia. It is one of the richest archaeological components in the world. When you dig in Mesopotamia anywhere in Iraq, you would find antiquities.
But years of war and instability have left Iraq prone to looting. In the middle of the 19th century, European explorers furnished their country's museums with their finds from Iraq. And after the 1991 Gulf War, heavy UN sanctions led many to illegally dig to earn income on the black market. But it was the aftermath of the 2003 US-led invasion that the legal trade of stolen antiquities ramped up. The National Museum in Baghdad was ransacked with 15,000 artifacts stolen. It took 12 years for the museum to reclaim some of its looted items and reopen. But the hunt for Iraq's treasures continues. Wafa Hassan leads a small team of archaeologists and lawyers turned detectives. Scouring the internet on sites like eBay and international auction houses, they track down their country's artifacts and work with embassies, international museums and Interpol to bring them home. But despite their finds, it's still an uphill battle. There are an estimated 15,000 archaeological sites across Iraq and only 10% have been excavated. Many sites are unprotected and left vulnerable to thieves.
That the sites, you cannot control it, and you cannot stop the looting of these sites. So it's a continually process that each day they take 10, maybe hundreds of items, and they loot it out from Iraq.
When the so-called Islamic State group swept across Iraq in the summer of 2014, they took control of a third of the country, including the second largest city, Mosul, and hundreds of archaeological sites. As a result, many priceless antiquities were demolished or smuggled to fund their operations. In 2015, the group entered Mosul Museum and destroyed ancient artifacts, including statues like these that date back to the Syrian Empire in 3000 BC. But these Lamassu statues are actually not the originals. They're replicas of those seen in the British Museum. As part of a project to restore cultural heritage, the Syrian statues were donated to the University of Mosul by the British Museum and the charity Factum Foundation. I went to visit Factum Foundation in London to find out more. Through technology and craftsmanship, these human-headed winged lions were created.
So we recorded the Lamassu at the British Museum, and they're these huge gypsum statues which are about 4 meters high and 4.5 meters long. And they were recorded using a structured light scanner. The data was then processed and it was carved using a robotic drill into very high density polyurethane. This is then cast in scagliola, which was then coated in wax. You can get a very accurate representation of gypsum and of the originals.
Although these models can never replace the original lost artifacts, they can play an important role in keeping their memory alive.